Hey y'all, hey, it's your one and only Ronnie Dior, and welcome to the Assignment Podcast. First of all, I would like to say I love you, I love you, I love you, and I appreciate all of your support. I have been watching my statistics from the last couple of weeks, and my daily and weekly downloads have not been like this before. It has not been like this before. I can definitely tell that something's changing, something's shifting. There is something happening because these downloads have definitely gone up significantly, daily and weekly. And all I can say is to God be the glory, because every time I see that you have downloaded, I'm like, God, somebody is being encouraged today. I'm not thinking, oh, somebody, I'm not even thinking about me at all, because the whole point is I just want to see people healed. I just want to see people set free. I just want to see people encouraged. If I can be the person that encourages you to hold on, to get through, to move past, to do whatever it is you got to do, to trust God, then hey, I'm fine. And so when I see the downloads actually go up, I'm like, oh my God, somebody came across this message today because you led them there, and it was the word that you made for them. Maybe I recorded it last month, or maybe I recorded it earlier this year, but when they came across it, it was right when they needed to hear it. And I'm just so elated. I'm just so excited, because as the downloads are going up, it's telling me that the word is going out. So thank you to Japan, thank you to the United Kingdom, and thank you to the US of A, because these three regions, these three areas, they've been popping up on the downloads as consistent downloads, as people who have been rocking with us. And I just so appreciative. So to show my appreciation, I am releasing a sale on my book, Back to Me, just for my A Crew listeners, my assignment crew. Honey, this is going to be a 15% off sale that is not going to end as of yet. I haven't put an end date on it because it's exclusively for you guys. You guys are a part of the exclusive A Crew. So if you're listening to this episode, head on over to www.diormovement.com and purchase your copy today, and make sure to enter into the discount code area on the payment page, A as in the letter A, crew. So that is www.diormvmt.com, and the discount code is A as in apple, CREW, A Crew. Because like I said, honey, y'all have y'all deserve it. That's me showing my appreciation to you. You showing your appreciation to me is to continue to listen and to continue to allow God to do the work and lead you to these messages, and then follow through, like do what the message is telling you to do. And so my appreciation to you guys. You guys will be the ones that get this exclusive deal, because it's only being announced on here. So it is exclusively for you, no lie. Okay. So today's episode, I'm just going to be talking to you. Okay. At least that's how I think it's going to go. We'll see if the Holy Spirit come in and say otherwise. But as of right now, we're just talking. We're just talking about what we're talking about. I came before you today, and I sat down and I had a thought in my mind of what I wanted to, talk about. And I'm sure that message will come out later. But I was like, I wasn't like fully settled in that message. I wasn't fully settled. Like, yeah, I had some notes written down, things of that nature, but it just wasn't, just settled. Like, that was it, So I was like, Lord, what is the message that you have for your people and me today? Because every word that comes out of my mouth and in this podcast is not just for you guys. I play it back for myself as well. So when I say, we're in this together, this is us, I truly mean that, and when I, asked God and was talking to him about what the message of today would be, protect who you are becoming, came up. And the interesting thing about it is I have been thinking and telling myself for the past 3 months, well, God has helped me to realize that the devil is not after who I am today or who I was yesterday. He is after who I am becoming. Maybe last year or earlier this year, I actually did an episode called Becoming. And that was just explaining, just walking into this new phase of your life and just becoming you. And I've noticed that has been downloaded a lot here as of lately. And I'm like, God, something is shifting in the atmosphere. Folks is walking into that becoming. I mean, I'm here for it. And because the only person that's not here for it is the devil. Hello. And so I knew for me, that was the thing, that I have to be in the moment of my becoming, not still at the 10-year mark, 15-year mark where I'm just, just realizing, how when you just start off with something, so you still learning and you still grasping it, then you get to a point where it's like, okay, you are actually in the cusp of becoming, like you're about there, like that graduation, like, you can smell it, you can feel it. And that's what's been going on. I'm like, he's not after who I've become, like this process of me. He's after the becoming me. See, when God called you into this earthly realm, he already had an assignment for your life. So no one is just here to be here. Okay? You work together in the scheme of things. Not one person is without purpose. Okay, you have something that you're fitting into. You have a role to play here. If you don't know what that is, ask God, because I don't know what it is for you, honey. I know what it is for me. But you may not feel like, okay, there's a big purpose or big plan, but you're still a part of one, though. You got to play your part. You are a part of one. Okay? So regardless, one thing I do know with that being said is the devil is aware of who God saw us as in that developed stage. The devil is aware of who God sees you as. So his MO is to destroy you while you're being molded and you're being prepared and you're working on you and you're going through the trials and tribulations and you're getting the testimonies and you're getting stronger. The MO is to come against that person now so that you don't reach the potential of the development. If I can keep you in potential and never let you cross over to realization, then you no longer pose a threat to me. Because it's not you today that poses a threat. It is who you are becoming that poses a threat. So, you got to ask yourself, why? If you are one of the people that feel like there's nothing to you, nothing about your life that breathes purpose, that you understand that this is that you have a becoming, or maybe you know there's purpose over your life and you know that there's a call in your life, but you have been feeling something extraordinary here lately. Like me, like I said, I can tell that I'm getting close to the becoming because my attacks are changing. You know, things are different in this area, in this stage of my life. And so you have to begin to ask yourself the questions: why? Why is he fighting so hard? Why are you undergoing so many various attacks or back-to-back attacks, relentless attack? Why are you enduring so much stuff? Yes, some things you may have caused, okay? Some things you have to endure because you caused that. But some stuff, now what is that about? The fight is about your impact, your influence. The value of you and who you are becoming is dangerous for the devil. The value of you and who you are becoming is dangerous to the plans of the enemy. And this is what we will get into in this episode today. I will be using excerpts from a previously recorded episode to help pull this message together for you. So get ready, because protect your becoming is loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today's episode will begin with the snippet from the Relationship Part U episode, published January 2020. Have you ever just been like, man, I'm just so tired? And it's not like just one thing you're tired over. It's not like you had a busy day and you was tired. You just lately have just been feeling worn out, just tired. But then one day, you come to yourself and you say, hold up, wait a minute. I forgot who I am. Surely, if I go back to who I was, I would not be concerned with this famine, lack, drought. For who I was never in a drought. I was always aware of my needs because they were being tapped into on a regular basis. So then you tell yourself, let me go back to the place where myself was cared for on a regular basis. Strictly because, now catch this part, of who I was and whose I was. Let me repeat that for you again, just in case you didn't catch that. When I came to myself, I said, surely if I go back to the place of where I was, I would never have a drought, because I was never in need, because my needs were being tapped into regularly. So I'm going to go back to the place where myself was cared for, because strictly it was literally only taken care of on a regular basis because of who I was and whose I was. You have to remember, beloved, that you belong to a king that wishes above all else that you would prosper. He said, for I know the plans that I have towards you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you an expected end, one that you can look forward to and not run from. He said, before you were formed, I knew you. I called you. He knew everything that you would need. He knew that one day you would need to be reminded that you are the head and not the tail, because your mind was going to try to come up against you and convince you otherwise. He knew that you would need to feel his loving arms wrapped around you late in the midnight hour when your emotions tried to drown you and overtake you. He knew that you would need him to spare you from that accident because you were struggling in your prayer life and forgot to pray that morning, so he already had you covered. He wants you to be in good health and prosper even as your soul prospers, and not in just one area, but in all parts concerning you. When he said, be a good steward over that which he gave you, remember, he gave you. Be a good steward over you. Be mindful of what thoughts you entertain, what emotions you allow to linger, how you treat your physical body, how you nurture your spiritual body. Okay, because the devil comes to lie. He lies to you using your mental and your emotional being. He steals from you by stealing your hope, your dreams, your will to live. He tries to kill your soul, your spirit, your relationships so that you have no connection. And I get it. It's not good that we be alone. But sometimes you have to encourage yourself. When you look to your left and you look to your right and ain't not one person there standing by you, baby. You're going to have to encourage yourself. You have to be connected to the promise that you know that you was given, so that when you get low, you can encourage yourself, even when ain't nobody there to encourage you. David said, look to the hills for which cometh your help, for your help cometh from the Lord. So go back to your father's house and learn how to take care of yourself as your father has taken care of you. When the prodigal son returned home, his father said, my son was lost, but now he is found. Let's rejoice. The son wasn't lost in the sense that he ran away. The son, and I want you to catch me, the son was lost in the sense that he separated himself from the very identity that separated him from others. I'm going to say that again just in case you didn't catch me. I need you to catch me. He was lost in the sense that he separated himself from the very identity that separated him from others. If you only knew who you were called to be, you will remember to take care. Your identity is your purpose. The very identity he called you to have has purpose. If you don't take care of your identity, you will lose purpose. Child, let's go ahead and get into this thing because she done got started. I done got started with myself. So, the story that was being told in that snippet was the story of the prodigal son. And in that story, in the Bible, you will find it just talking about a rich man that had two sons. And one of them strayed. One of them left the household and decided to just go off on his own, do his own thing, hide himself. I got the money. I'm just going to live my life the way that I want it. I'm gone. And the other son stayed. Well, this son went out and he lost his identity. he got entangled in people, things, and his image, that he lost his identity. And when I say he lost his identity, is he got to live in this life, and he ended up being in a city, in an area where they were experiencing a famine, and somebody who's supposed to have access to everything no longer had the access, and so he had to endure the hardship with the rest of the people that he got in bed with. Okay, he messed around and tipped up off into a situation that caused him to be barren. He no longer had, and therefore, even the true essence of who he was even left his own mind. Like, he didn't know, he could no longer look in the mirror and see himself. There was no more identity that he can reverence within himself. And the things that he knew that he should be able to do and have, he no longer has. So he had to get it how he lived at that point in time. And the only way he can do that was to, he became somebody that was attending to the pigs. And he got down with the pigs to sup. He went from being in the palace, sitting high up, going out, separating himself from the identity of who he was because he wanted to go off in his own way, got caught up, didn't have. Now when he sees himself, he doesn't actually see himself. And now he has to now get it how he's currently living. And when I say get it how you live, that is a term that means because of the environment that I'm living in, I now have to operate within the means that are afforded me in this particular environment. So the environment I'm living in is teaching me to rob, steal, and kill to get what I need, then that's what I do because that's the environment. If the environment I'm living in is teaching me to get up and go get a job, then that's what I'm going to, it's the environment that you've subdued to. And so he began to, tend to the pigs. And now he's hungry and needs to eat. And he ends up eating low. He's looking up and identifying with the pigs. He's identifying with his lowly state instead of remembering who he is. So now I'm identifying with the place that I'm in instead of who's in me. And then one day he came to himself. One day he recalled, there's greater in me. I am not who I am in this moment and who I have lately been identifying as. My true identity is not this. Let me but get back to the house from which I came. Let me get back to my Father's house so that I can be reunited with my identity. Because my life depends on me knowing who I am and not disconnecting from that. Because if I disconnect from the mere identity of who I am, I will lose the purpose of who I am. And that's the gotcha. That's the gotcha. He was welcomed with open arms. No shame, no shade, just thanks that he returned. It speaks about going back to your Father's house, and you have to think about it now on a spiritual sense because, God is our Father. And he called us. And he put a word down on the inside of us that was supposed to birth and come forth and accomplish. And so therefore, our identity is in him. Our identity is in the word he put inside of us. Our identity is in that purpose. And so for us to be able to reunite with our identity, we got to go back and reunite with him. There are times in our lives where we start doing our own thing, not because we don't feel like, God know what he's doing and we got this, but it's just sometimes you just go off in your own way without even thinking about that you going off in your own way. You like, I got this right now. Okay, I know what I got. All right, you had training wheels. They took them off. You were doing fine. Now you're ready for them to let go. And it's cool, you know? But the problem is, we don't want his hands on it at all until we get off into some trouble. Where if he can just stay nearby us, he can make sure we don't fall off the bike, fall off the trail. When we start steering right, he pushes back left. When we start steering left, he pushes back right. He makes our pathway easier. But we can get in our own way sometimes and lose our identity. And so we start facing obstacles and trials. But they ain't for nothing. Sometimes we create these obstacles and trials, and sometimes these trials and obstacles are purposed to bring these things out of us. We are fighting to become, and we have to protect that person that we are becoming by protecting our identity. What would have happened if the son never returned home? What if he never came to himself and realized who his true identity was? He would have succumbed to the identity of that lowly state that he was in. But that wasn't the place that he was called to. That wasn't the place of his calling. The thing that I love most is that he left his identity. He left the track. He left from the track of his purpose, right? Because his track was at the house. He left the track of his purpose. Went out. Started identifying with the place that he was in. The place he was in was not his calling. But see, the way God is set up, he loves us so much that he sent for him to bring him out of that place and bring him back to where his will be accomplished. It is something when your calling comes looking for you. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. It is something when you stray away, but the Lord say, no, I got a plan for your life. Oh, God. I got a plan for your life. So I need to pull you up out of that. I need to rescue about that situation. I need to rescue about that thought process. I need to rescue about that relationship. I need to come and get you. He will come and get you. Your calling will come and get you. Because he says, I have a plan for your life. Plan to prosper you. And this, where you are right now, that ain't the place of your calling. So I'm finna come and get you. And some of us know that where we are right now, we are in obstacles and trials and battles and fighting. But we're not outside of the will of the Lord. We're actually all up in that thing. Just because we're walking in his will doesn't mean we're going to be safe from trials and tribulations. But we are acknowledging the fact, and we know that we have a calling in our lives and we have to become, right? The part that we have to be mindful over is to not get consumed with image, status, relationships, or lose sight of why we are here. Because we can get so caught up in the process of what we're doing, the day-to-day, the mundane of it, just the, I know I got to do this to get to here. I know that it just becomes a routine now. Not only is it a routine, so now it's not intentional and passionate, but now it's tiresome. Now you are doing so much. Now you've added so much to the plate. Now you've taken on so many things that before you know it, you started veering off the route. You started actually leaving the house. You actually started going in your own way based on your own sight because you started seeing so many good ideas. These are great ideas and they're good. I don't see what's wrong. It's making me, it's prospering, it's doing these things, but they are not what God has for you. They could be a good idea, but that's not your path. And now you're overwhelmed, up all night. But who are you becoming? Are you becoming a fraction of what God has actually called you to become? Have we diverted from the path just a little bit? Some of us are aware of the calling on our lives. You know what? I'm going to dress Veronica on this one. I am aware of the calling on my life. And I understand that who I am becoming is near. And she is powerful. And she has great impact. And she is doing things that I could never imagine. How do I know? Because I see her in my dreams. I see her in visions when I'm awake. God is literally giving me sneak peeks so that I can stay focused and desire it, right? And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you've experienced this too. God has shown you what he has in store for you, who you are called to be. However, I find myself sometimes trying to connect with people that are not conducive to my becoming. That could very well compromise me from becoming. Not that they're evil or bad people or anything's wrong with it. It's just they are not a part of the plan. They are not a part of this part of my life, period. Things that I may want to get involved in. That's a good idea, great thought. Partnerships I would love to establish. Places I would love to go. Jobs I would love to have. Different kind of, assignments on a job that I would love to have. Even familiar habits. Those now at this point are a distraction. They're guiding me along a different trail. I had a job offer and it looked like a good thing and it was cool. It was in the same field, working as a therapist. But something about that one didn't feel right. And then this other job that I'm currently working in now presented itself. And everything about that felt right. And then I took the job. And as I'm in the job, I'm getting different assignments coming to me. Different requests coming to me. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, God, the things that I'm learning at this new job, the doors that are opening, the skills that I'm taking on and adding to my repertoire, this is actually necessary for where I know I'm headed. It's a part of the becoming. But had I had said no to this one and said yes to the other job, it would have been good, but it would have led me down a different path. We have to be mindful. Now that God is showing you that there's greater for you, you have to be mindful. God is saying, I need you to stop being who you are now and become who I called you to be. I'm going to say that again because that just pierced somebody because I know that just hit me. God is saying, I need you to stop being who you are now and become who I called you to be. Every decision we make at this point has to be intentional because your becoming is waiting. The devil has been trying to take you out your whole life, rather through mental battles, emotional trauma triggers and relationships, physical battles, because he doesn't want you to become who God has called you to be. But don't let his fight be in vain. Like, I mean, for him, it's not going to be in vain, right? Because if we don't become, he wins. But don't let it be in vain on your end. Don't be fighting your whole life against the enemy just for him to win. Don't let that be in vain. If you don't do nothing else but get out the bed every morning, it's because you are not finna let him just take you out of here. You are not just going to go gently into that good night. You going to put up a fight. And you going to come out on the other end being the very person he was trying to keep you from becoming, because that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. I'm not going to let you have it today. So you want to be relentless at it. You want to look back over your life and make it make sense. All the stuff you've been through, all the obstacles, all the trials, all the battles, all the ups, all the downs, all the learnings, and the pruning, all the things, make it make sense. Don't let it be for naught. Don't let it be for nothing. Those days were making you stronger for what? Those days was making you wiser for what? Those days were giving you what you need for what? It's that part. It's that part. Are you getting closer to your becoming? Because once you reach that state of being, that state of actually becoming that person, that man or that woman that you know God is calling in that position, that place, that's when it just getting started. Because at this point, the difference now is you can step fully into your identity and fully into an understanding of your assignment. Now, the thought of that might be scary. It might evoke some fear. I mean, the thought of it evoked fear for me. It had me kind of wrestling. I mean, I actually told the Lord no. In previous episodes, I gave my testimony where I was just bare naked. Like, yes, I was afraid. He told me that he was putting a word down inside of me that needed to come out boldly and without shame or afraid, because his people, he needed them to get messages, and he knew he could molded me to be able to speak a word along with other things. And I told him, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that because I'm afraid that I'm gonna fail you. It becomes fearful when God tells you there's a large assignment that he got in store for you. Oh, yes. That can make you be like, whoa, I don't know. But see, it's really about you're no longer going to have that comfort, right? Now you have to show up. Now you have to be accountable. Now you have to be intentional. Now you have to be dedicated. Now you have to be committed, because see, what was being taken when you accept the challenge, when you accept the assignment, it is, I'm no longer able to say that I got time to mess up. That it's okay that if I don't have it all together. It's okay if I'm not fully committed. Because at this point, there's dedication now, intentionality now. Now, you have to alter your schedule. Now you have to dedicate yourself. Now you have to sacrifice things that you want to do instead. Now you have to be intentional. But when you live in the fear of it, you are basically not allowing yourself to look at yourself for who you really are. You don't have a mirror. You're avoiding the mirror. You know, when you don't want to actually walk into the becoming of you, when you know who you're becoming, you avoid things that would expose you. You don't talk to God like you used to. Huh? You don't interact with certain people. Huh? You don't do certain things. You don't go around because you know they may not call you out, but something in that interaction is going to call you out. Something going to pop up and expose your real identity every time. You'll be in the middle of a conversation and they talking about something that you were supposed to be doing. They're talking about something that they need that you're supposed to be creating or developing. They bring up something that you were birthed to be here to bring to pass. That was your assignment. And you can't run from it because it will, again, this is the calling finding you in the pig's pen. As I mentioned in this snippet that you heard earlier from a previous episode, God knows the thoughts that we are having, the concern, the fear, the worry. He knows all of that. He knows that when he assigned the task to us, that this was going to be, heavy and we were going to have all these feelings and these thoughts. But he has already equipped us with what we need in our mind, personality, temperament, and our abilities. Do not take it lightly that you are made the way that you're made. Sometimes, when I was younger, I used to get in trouble for talking too much. I used to get in trouble for always being the one that had to stand up and say something. I just couldn't sit on things, honey. If it messed with my spirit, Lord, I had to speak on it. Or if I saw that somebody else wanted to speak up on something and they didn't feel the strength and the boldness to, I would speak up on their behalf. Advocating started with me way young. Compassion for folks started for me way young. Trying to help the people here. All these things. My bubbly personality, cheerfulness. I don't like being down. I don't like being sick and I don't like being sad. Yes, I experience both of those things, but I do not like it. It bothers me. Because it's just not in me to be, it's just that spirit that he put in me. It's just not a down one. And after some time, and that bounce back too, where I can endure pain, like, come on. Over time, I had to sit back and actually ask myself, why was you made like that? Why are you able to boldly speak up for stuff that just don't sit right with you? And you just can't, you don't disrespect folks when you do it, but you do say something. You don't just let it ride. Why are you equipped this way? I said, God, there has to be a purpose behind these tools that you've given me that's supposed to come out later in my purpose once I become. So what did he do during his years? He fine-tuned them. He taught me how to cultivate them. He taught me how to use them to my advantage. He taught me how not to be reckless with them. He taught me how to bring it in sometimes, to tone it down sometimes, to speak up sometimes. He had to cultivate it. So don't take it lightly, the type of mindset you have, your personality, your temperament, your abilities. Because he equipped us with these things to bring what he put us to come out. What happens when we are aware that it's time to become? We begin to fear our ability to do it. And it's only because, all right, y'all, we here now. It's that part, right? It's the stage fright part. It's the part where you've done everything to prepare for this moment. And now it's time to go out and you get stage fright. I can't do this. The attention all gonna be on me. I can't. It's on me to see this thing through. It's just too, and then all of a sudden, anxiety. And that's really just what it was. This is really what it is when it all boils down to it. It's the anxiety of the moment is upon us. But my mother had to remind me, baby, it's not on you. It's on God. Paul said in Philippians 1 verse 6, and I am certain that God, who began a good work within you, will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. That's the New Living Testimony version. That means first, it's been placed inside of you. It's not something you picked up along the way. This was placed in you before the foundations of the earth. when God was creating the world, he already had a remedy for things to come in you. He just needed to bring it out of you. He already knew because he was, he is, and he is to come. So he already knew. So in order for that situation to already be taken care of, he don't just plan it in the moment or be taken by surprise. He already got a plan for that. I know the plans that I have for your life. That means he already has a plan. So that means he knows what's coming. So he puts it in you. And then he brings you out so that it can be done. So I'm certain that God who began a good work within you, he already started it in you, will perform it, will complete it, which is what perform is, complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. So secondly, it's on God. You know how when I was writing this, it cracked me up. The generation of today, they be like, oh God. When they say that, it's basically a way for them to tell somebody they not lying about something, right? They be like, man, on God, that's what happened. On God, man, put that on God. Put that on God. All the time. It's interesting because in the Bible, it says there's no other name to swear on but my name. Because ain't none higher than me. So it's on me. That's on me, baby. That's on me, on God. On God. The Bible is telling you, on God. He is the highest authority and power. If he does not bring it to pass, it ain't happening. Period. He put it in you. He gonna pull it out of you. I put it in you, and I'm gonna complete that thing. That's on me. That's on me. That ain't on you. That's on me. All you got to do is play your part, 3 stacks. Play your part. That's all you got to do. All you have to do is play your part. I put it in you. It's on me to complete it, to pull it out. You just play your part. What's your part? Nurture your identity and what he gave you in your hands. Feed it. Be mindful where you take it. Be mindful who you allow to connect with you and how you treat you. It is vital to protect your becoming. The wrong connections at the wrong time, the wrong situation at the wrong time, the wrong decision at this time could compromise it all. You have to feed yourself positivity and love and joy and peace and the word and knowledge and wisdom and skills. And you have to feed yourself. Okay, you have to put it in you so that it can come out at its appointed time. You have to put it in you. Everything we learned in school, it don't just run off. When it's necessary, it comes up. Just like the word. When you reading and you praying, you putting the word in you, listening to sermons, you putting the word in you, it'll come out at its appointed time when it's necessary to accomplish the thing that needs to happen, right? The thoughts, the creativity, it'll come out. But you can mess around and be putting in filth or connecting it to filth, being around people that mean you no good, people that bring you, or people that's just always talking about negativity. They just, I don't like being around negative people. I can't stand being in the room with somebody, gossiping about somebody, talking about somebody, and I just can't. I can't. I be like, look, I got to go. I can't. I can't. That ain't even, I can't. Okay? You have to protect your identity, because the moment you start subjecting yourself to that kind of environment, it will start to feed and it'll start to pollute your identity, and then you will identify yourself as them, as one with them, when you were separated to be separated. I said that in the snippet. He separated you because you were separated. And you messed around and separated yourself from the identity that he already caused you to be separated. So like, you don't fit in with this crew. You don't fit in that situation. You don't fit in with that thought process. You don't fit in. There's a reason for that. But you trying to. There's a reason you separated. There's a reason you don't fit. If it don't fit, you must have quit. There's a reason. Because you've been separated for a purpose. And the funny thing is, you got to be careful that you don't try to fit in, because the very people that you've been separated from may be the very people you're supposed to be reaching. And you can't reach them if you of them. So you got to come out from you have to come out from amongst them. You have to be separated. So that's why you got to be careful who you're connecting with, because you might be creating a circle of people that's not conducive to where you're trying to go. And then stop neglecting yourself. Pour into yourself with love and kindness. Take time off. Stop burning the candle at both ends. How are you going to run and not get weary, making yourself weary? How you going to do that? He said that you can do these things, but not if you put yourself in situations that will literally weaken your body and your vessel. Be careful how you literally treat yourself. Self-care is everything. You have to literally understand that you are taking care of self so that you can do what God has purposed you to do. That is the one reason why I had a wake-up call when diabetes and MS was diagnosed over my life. And I said, what do I need to do? Because there must have been something that I'm doing that has inflicted this upon me. And I know I was brought here. I know I was purposed here to bring forth his will. And I cannot do it sick, unable to run, unable to go, unable to do, having to carry medicine with me all the time, being limited. I cannot do what he's calling me to do because I don't know to what capacity I will have to be doing these things. And I'm already limiting myself to how much I can do because of not taking care of myself. So I had to begin self-care. I had to learn how to take care of myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically so that I am not compromising what work I would have to do in my becoming. I really need you to hear me. Don't overextend yourself and allow others to use up your time, your efforts, and your creativity that you run short on giving to your own assignment. It's okay if you have to cut ties with folks right now. They are not assigned to who you are becoming. If you have a gumption to cut ties with some folks, it's probably a gumption from the Lord, okay? And he's telling you they are not a part of the assignment and they got to go. They've been with you long enough. They were a part of the becoming process, and their season in the show of your life has now come to an end. And it's time to recast. You can easily lose focus and your identity in old habits, people, and day-to-day things because it's a slow and small chipping away process if you're not paying attention. Don't find it strange if all of a sudden you've been having thoughts of changing jobs, moving, ending relationships, starting new. It's the shift that is necessary to get you in position for the becoming. To realign you with the purpose, to make sure that you're at the right place at the right appointed time, because it's at this moment that the becoming is coming. And so I have to get you in that place. I have to put you in that position so that you're ready and you're there. So when the becoming comes, it doesn't miss you because the becoming comes and you're right there to be. You're in position. You're in place. You are becoming. Your first emotion about it might be fear. Don't lie about it. You know, we had years of religion that try to tell us that as soon as somebody say they're afraid of something, oh, you know, the Lord didn't give you the spirit of fear. And so they about near condemn you for feeling fear because the Lord, you know, No, the Lord didn't give it to us, but the Lord never said we wouldn't experience it. Mm-mm. He said it didn't come from me. He called it a spade. He said if you fear somewhere, you are lacking faith. That's why when they was on the boat and they're afraid, he said, be not afraid, ye of little faith. He said, he called a spade. Somewhere where fear is, there's lack of faith. We just have to see it. I know it's even hard for me to accept that because I feel like I got faith in you, Lord. I know I do. But if I have fear, there's somewhere in me where there's little faith in that area. But it's not for me to hide and act like I don't have that fear there. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. See, fear will try to hold you captive so that you don't become. And then the devil has won. Admit how you truly feel to God and then ask him to help you regardless of how you feel and trust that he got you. Play the background because he got the main event. Bring you and everything he placed inside of you, and he will give you favor among men as long as you find your identity in him and are doing the things that he instructed for your life. Doors will open. Your name will be in places that your body hasn't even stepped foot in yet. People will be waiting to make your acquaintance while you still putting together your elevator pitch. You will already be chosen for the assignment while you still circulating the resumes and invitations. While you are building, the people are already coming. The favor of God is on you because the will of God is in you. I love it. The favor of God is on you because the will of God is in you. It is his will that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Is meaning presently, already. His will be performed through you concerning what he needs to have happen at the appointed time. And it will blow your mind. He is the best gift giver. He is the best surprise party thrower. And I said surprise party thrower because you don't know it's coming. You don't know this door about to open. You don't know this way is about to be made. You don't know this is about to dry up. You don't know this suffering is about to come to an end. You don't know the things that are just about to just go off all around you. You don't even know that it's coming. You don't even know that it's planned for tomorrow. Oh, God, you don't even know that it's in line for next week. You don't even know that the prayer that you've been asking God and praying and just crying about for years, it's about to walk through that door. You don't even know. He is the best surprise party thrower. He can throw me a surprise party all day, honey. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. He is telling us, follow me. I am the way. You hear me? Follow me. I am the way. Protect who you are becoming by paying attention to your identity and how you are treating it. Your identity is tied to purpose, and your purpose was established in heaven. It's like purpose was a spirit-filled word, and it needed an earthly vessel. And God said, yours. I need this word to go into an earthly vessel, and I choose you. And that word has one job: to be fulfilled, to manifest, to become. So, become. God's will has been planted inside of you. It has already been established in heaven. It has already been written, and you have already been seen by him in this form. In that form, he's already seen you. You got one job. Become.